Hello, everyone, and happy December. Jennifer, what are we talking about this month?
So we have award winners this month. So we have a whole bunch of different awards from different genres and ages. So there's something for everybody on this board. And today we are talking about the Connecticut one. So we've got Nutmeg.
As many of you know, I talk about nutmegs a lot. I really like reading the nutmeg list. So this one is totally down my alley. First of all, does everyone like our winter hats? Two, very cute.
Winter is here. It's December.
So let's see. All right. We are going to talk about, for Get Booked, for the purpose of Get Booked, we're going to do some nominees as well, not just winners. And so for the nutmegs, I did last year's, which have already been voted on, and there is a winner in my stack. But Jennifer picked the current year, the 2022 nominees. So if you are eligible to vote for nutmegs, talking to all the school-aged humans, you still have the opportunity to vote for your favorite nutmeg. So read the books and, talk to your teacher or librarian. I'm sure they know a little bit about it. All right, so I'm going to get us started. And so my first book today is Restart by Gordon Korman. Here, you can see his whole name. And this one actually was the winner for last year's grades 4 through 6. So Chase has no memory of falling off of his roof. He has no memory of hitting his head, and he definitely does not remember absolutely anything about himself or his life, which is crazy, right? Like, that's nuts. So he wakes up in a hospital room and basically has to start at square one, even learning his own name. As he tries to go back to normal, he finds some kids love him and some really, really seem to dislike him. There may or may not be like a food pouring incident on your head. I don't know. This one was a really wonderful story about how your actions towards other people can affect your life. And Chase has the chance to figure out who he was and maybe change who he's going to be. And this one is actually can be found in our children's department.
Yeah, I really like that one. I love Gordon Korman. He's really funny and he does action really well. That one's not one of his more action-oriented books, but he has some really good action books, which I love.
I mean, this was like a kind of feelings one. Like, it kind of hits you hard, It
does. It does hit you in the feels. It's true. This one is Jacqueline Woodson's Harbor Me. So, 6 kids are kind of in their own classroom at the end of the day. There used to be 8 kids, and then one moved away, and one's parent just kind of took her out of the class. So the tagline is 6 kids discover the power of sharing their secrets and their stories. Esteban comes into school, to class one afternoon, and he's visibly shaken. His teacher's kind of like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And he says his family thinks that they have taken his father. He hasn't seen his father in a little bit. He thinks that he's gone missing. He's under the impression, his family's under the impression that maybe he's been deported. So he and his teacher have a conversation, and then afterwards the teacher's like, "Okay, we're going to do something different. Every Friday at the end of the day is when they have that class. So every Friday for an hour, she brings them to the old art room, and they sit and talk for an hour. Like, the kids are supposed to sit and talk for an hour. There is no teacher, no adult in the room. They're just sharing their stories, sharing their lives, like sharing just kind of what is bothering them or what's making them happy. And what happens, the teacher's kind of trying to push them out of like their familiar setting to become unfamiliar, and kind of seeing where things are going to go and what kind of stories that they're going to share with each other and how it will affect them in the future and in their other classes. So this is Harbor Me. This is on the intermediate list. And Jacqueline Woodson is a really great author.
Yeah, for multiple age groups though too. So there are some adult books too, if you're interested. So my next one is Framed by James Ponti. It's located in our tween section. It was actually also on the intermediate nominee list, but this one was like my favorite won last year. It didn't win. Boo-hoo. But it's also an Edgar Award nominee. And so, all right. Florian Bates is no ordinary kid. He just moved to DC, and he's using the theory of all small things, TOAST for short, to solve like life's little mysteries. So things like how many kids somebody has by just like looking at them in their office, like attention to detail things. He's very smart. Anyways, after he teaches it to his new friend Margaret, they uncover something that isn't just a little mystery. In fact, it involves the National Gallery, priceless art, and the FBI. Like what? So now Florian and Margaret have to use TOAST to help the FBI solve the case. This one is so fun. And there are 3 books in the series, so you can just keep going and going. I read them so fast. They are so good. And if you like anything like Criminal Mindsy, this is like Criminal Minds for kids. Like so good without the, crazy stuff that Criminal Minds has. I love this murders. One. Yeah, and terrible things that happen to people on the side of the road. That's not this. This is like awesome and really fun and just a good read. So.
I really need to read that series. So James Ponti also is writing the City Spies mystery series, which is super good. So I haven't read those, and I have to go back and read those because they sound awesome. So mine is by fan favorite Stuart Gibbs. This is Charlie Thorne in The Last Equation. So Charlie is really, really smart. Charlie is a thief. Charlie has stolen a bunch of money and no longer has to live with parents, which is kind of interesting. So Charlie is 12. And she's been living on her own at a boarding school. And her half brother from the CIA is sent to track her down. And she's not thrilled. But the CIA needs her help to solve a clue from Albert Einstein because he left behind a very important equation, and the CIA wants to be the people who get the equation so that the world doesn't end when it falls into the wrong hands. So this is a lot of puzzles, a lot of travel around the world, solving things, beating the bad guys, because of course they're not the only people in search of all of these clues. There's bad guys chasing them. So this is fun. So there's 2 Charlie Thorne books. I believe there's at least one more on the way, if not more. They're really fun, really fast paced. This is on the middle school list, also in our middle grade section.
We totally just picked like the same genre from 2 separate years, right? All right.
I love that genre.
I know, it's so fun to read.
They are.
So my last one is, there we go, Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. So this was on the high school nominee list, and it's nominated for the Bram Stoker as well, I think. Pretty sure. So it's set in a historical-esque America, but with like a weird science fiction crazy twist. Okay. So Jane was born 2 days before the dead, aka the zombie things, walked the battlefields of Gettysburg, derailing the war between the states and changing the course of America's future. So like the Civil War didn't finish. In this world, children of color are required to attend combat schools to learn how to put down the dead, or they're called the Shamblers. Jane is a teenager who by day attends Miss Preston's School of Combat in Baltimore, and by night sneaks out on her own to hunt Shamblers in the countryside. Jane is working to become an attendant, trained in both combat and etiquette. For Jane, this is her chance at a better life. But when families in the county start to go missing, Jane gets caught in a fight against some powerful enemies. The Shamblers, it seems, are the least of her worries. So this one was really good. If you're not super into zombies, it adds them in a way that makes this book it's not like just another zombie book. It's way more than that. I think Jane is a really great character to read, and the story continues in book 2.
Nice. So my teen pick is Eliza and Her Monsters. So Eliza, it is a really good cover. In real life, Eliza is friendless, shy, and kind of weird. Online, she is the creator of the super insanely popular webcomic. So her two worlds sort of meet when a mega fan, Wallace, is transferred to her school. Now, Wallace thinks that Eliza is just another fan. And the more they hang out, the more Eliza thinks, well, you know, maybe real life isn't so bad. Maybe I can do some more things like in person with people, not just online. And then, of course, because she has this massive secret, you know that's coming out. So I loved this book. So it does have like the normal prose, but it also has like instant messaging, it has letters, it has like web comics. Let's see if I can get that. So it has part of these, and it has like comments from the web comic. So you do get a little bit of that intermingle, different style of writing, which kind of breaks the book up a little bit, which is fun. This book was super fun. I really, really loved it.
So those are our nutmegs. Yeah. We I mean, I hope you read some of the nutmegs from this year. I hope Jennifer enticed you to go and grab some off of our shelves. As we said, this month we're going to talk about award winners. So we're going to do a different award for the weeks that we're going to do Get Booked. And yeah, I don't know. Any parting words, Jennifer?
Get those bingo sheets in, because we want you to win the prizes.
I forgot. Oh, what are some of our prizes, Jennifer? Do you know?
Oh, we should have brought. We'll bring some next time.
Yeah.
So we have like a messenger type bag, lunch bag.
Yes, the lunch bag.
We still have, I think, some mugs and some candles.
We have a bunch of
hand sanitizer.
Oh, actually, I can show you the cute hand sanitizer that we have. It's my fave. It's attached to my lunchbox, so that I am never without it. Not my lunchbox from here. Like, I actually have my own lunchbox, and it has a nice little carabiner.
Yeah. Perfect.
So yeah, get those bingo sheets done.
Yes.
Enter to win the big prize, right?
Yes. So there are two ways to win bingo. There's obviously like the 5 squares, and you're entered. You'll get one of the prizes, and then you'll be entered to win the big prize. And then if you ever do a whole complete board, that is a completely different, bigger prize. And we'll be pulling both of those in January. So start working. The other thing to keep in mind is if you've kept track of your books that you've read this year, you can go back to like our other squares. It's not just you don't have to just participate in this one, or you can do all the months prior. So like sometimes I forget, and then I go back and I'm like, oh, I read this romance book, I can go do the romance ones from February, and or hey, that romance book I read way back in January counts for this one over here. So that's totally cool. We're happy with that.
We're down with mixing and matching.
Yes, because you can only read so many books in a year, which we won't talk about how many books we've read, because you know. But we will see you next week, and we'll share off some of those prizes so you can actually see them in person. Or in video, I should say.
We're doing great today. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.